I'm here in the inFINITO Festival to speak about the space and the design of spaces for dying and for life, what the design of healthcare facilities is like, and what the design of the environments are where we represent and dignify the lives that we lived. One of the first architectural experiences I had was when my father was very ill and we had to spend a lot of time as a family in the hospital and spend the holidays there. And I was struck by how poor the design was for even a well-known medical facility. And I started to think about his life and the last days of his life being spent in this terrible environment and why we had failed as architects and designers to think about the experience and the environment in which so many people have both their greatest joys with the birth of their children and their most difficult and stressful times as well with the loss of life. It seems as a perfect place to use architecture as an agent for improving the quality of life of those in which they have to embrace those spaces. Well, I think people always change their environment to make them more comfortable. They bring in flowers or they put pictures on the wall of notes or cards, or change the lighting, or try to improve the quality of this built space so it's more comfortable for them. And so I would actually love to ask the medical professionals to listen to the ways in which patients are changing their environment and say, hey, we can help you here, we can do more. Of course, I think most medical professionals already do that. And I think patients can also think about the ways that they can be empowered to improve the environment around them so that it's more comfortable for them. Most of us want to be in a very comforting space when we're facing really hard medical choices. And the quicker we can get to our homes, or the quicker we can get to spaces where we feel taken care of, the less stress we feel, the less anxiety. And there's ways in which we can design those environments to be better. I think sound, light, air, natural airflow, the obvious ones. But then there's deeper ones, which the patient and the nurses can't change. We have to think about them as architectural problems, that we might want to think about care for patients in rooms which are more thoughtful about the experiences they're going through and less of a machine for trying to attack them with medical science. Someone told me that you're never prepared for the birth of a child or the death of a parent. These are moments of incredible stress, incredible anxiety, incredible hope and sadness, and they happen in spaces often very similar, in medical spaces a lot of times, in our homes, surrounded by our loved ones. And they're moments of existential awakening. Built environment around us as a kind of shepherd for that existential awakening, or it can be. And I think designing those environments to be prepared to absorb all of that intensity, to steward us towards that next phase that we're becoming a part of as we go through those experiences, is an essential piece of architecture and something that it could do more of. Infinity is something I actually think about a lot. It's for me that which is uncountable, but it's also spatial. When we see the unfathomably large number, we understand that we are small in the face of the enormous challenges or the enormous difficulties in front of us. We recognize our identity and ourself among the many. And when you spatialize the infinity, or you try to spatialize it, you recognize an existential moment, that you are just one among many, that you are part of something greater than yourself. And I like to think of architecture as doing that. It has the ability to remind us of our place in the world, even among the greatness of society around us that we could never fully understand. And it's those existential moments that I think great architecture reminds us that we are a part of something greater than ourselves. I think this is wonderful to think and talk openly about the taboo discussions of death and dying. We need to bring to light truth and speak openly about it, or we bury it and aren't able to cope with it when we face it. And it's in that inability to cope that we may lose touch with the challenges in front of us. So I think bringing it to light, speaking about death and dying and taboo subjects like that, and how we might cope with them better is a way for us as individuals to prepare and to become better and more resilient after we face, inevitably, what we all will face, which are these issues in our lives. Come be infinity with us.